Tio. This is the Living Workshop. And today is June 5th. Oh, Thursday. It's Thursday, June 5th, 2025. It's hot outside. It's the first hot day in Maine. It's really hot. So that's why I'm wearing this. So get over it. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a scorcher today. First scorcher. And I live in Maine, so it's very cold and not very sunny. So when stuff like this happens, it's exciting. I used to live in Mass. I used to live in Hampshire. You just get into the space. Anyway, I live in the Northeast. So living in the Northeast, you deal with the wintertime. And when the summer shows up, everybody forgets that the summer happened last year. And they get really excited, which is great, but then it gets too hot for them, and they start complaining that it's too hot, and then it gets cold. When the weather's changed, then it's too cold. Northern people, they're just never happy. Northeast people are always complaining about the weather. We have the best weather because we have all of it. Whatever. That's my opinion. I'm a very sun person, so I should probably actually be living down where there's a lot of sun, taking in all that. Cycles. I like cycles. Okay. Hot today. That's why we're dressed like this. So we had some cool stuff happen today. I'll get into that in a little bit. But first, what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 things I'm grateful for today. 3 things I'm grateful for today are serendipitous events. If you don't know it, serendipitous means, well, it kind of just means like coincidental or synchronistic or something along those lines. Like things that just happen and then work out. So, thanks for that. I'm going to tell you what kind of played out after, but let's just keep going with this so I don't get sidetracked. Okay, second thing that I'm grateful for is trusting the process. Again, leading into what I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, just trusting this last month or so has been very fluxy for me. There's been a bunch of bad weather, and then the internet's been out, and then I didn't know where we were going after the Rhode Island Mushroom Fest, which was amazing. Thank you, Allie and everybody, and Dee and everybody over there. But yeah, and then the Brooklyn mushroom thing happened, and then we had to drive down there, and still no internet, and I'm trying to communicate to all these people, and the weather's crap, and I don't know where the money's coming from, and all stuff moved around from last year, and it's different to this year, and all the fun stuff. And then now it looks like everything's reforming. So just had to trust the process, and I was pretty close. I was close to almost getting some shit job. Just kidding. I wouldn't get a shit job. And we got some other stuff, so we're already good. And third thing I am grateful for is dog companionship. So I'm sure you know, maybe you don't, but we have a puppy here. His name's Owsley, and with a puppy, it's an Australian Shepherd, so he's a very smart dog. So he requires a lot of training. Good. Teaches the human how to train themselves, and then how to train the dog. It's really good. I find, honestly, if I could, what did I say? If I could make everybody get a dog. I like people who have dogs. I like being able to look at the dog and see how the dog behaves and things like that. You kind of get a feel for what the person's soul is by looking at how their dog behaves, or how I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, just in building that relationship, it's a really cool, deep relationship. So I'd been just doing I was doing my writing this morning, and I was writing a bunch of stuff all about that, all about dog companionship and the relationship that you build with a different animal that we've kind of worked around for a really long time, and that bond gets built, and how beautiful that is, and then how in training the dog, you end up training kind of your animal parts of yourself, because the dog needs to trust you, and you got to trust yourself, and you got to know body, you got to understand body language, you got to understand presence and energy, and you got to understand how to communicate communicate with something that doesn't communicate the same way that you do. And so you can't force it to communicate how you communicate. You have to learn how to communicate with it. So there's something very, very deep in that probably. But either way, whatever. Now I'm getting woo-woo-y. Anyways, so this is the thing I'm grateful for. So now we'll go back and we'll talk about what the hell was I didn't even start this thing. This is the second day. I forgot to start the stupid thing. It's all good. So what happened? So what was the serendipitous event? So Steve, who is the proprietor of the timber framing site that we live at, he came back. So I was chatting with him the other day. It was funny. I actually shot him a text message earlier on in the day yesterday about maybe 2 days ago, but like timber framing. There was some guy that was looking for work, timber framing. And I was like, oh, cool, I'd be down to try that out. So I figured he was right around here. I figured he probably knew Steve, because in fact, Steve literally wrote a book about timber framing, Timber Framers Workshop. Steve Chappell. You're looking to learn about timber framing, that's the one to go to. Anyways, sidetrack. So he showed up. So we were shooting the shit. But so it was funny because I texted him, and then he showed up, but he didn't know. He didn't read my text until he was already over here. He was already on the way over. So yeah, and then So then we just started chatting. Blah 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 blah. Turns out when I asked him about that, he's like, "Oh, actually, I got some stuff that I need a hand with. Do you want to help me do some stuff here, do some carpentry stuff around here, and tighten this place up a little bit?" And I said, "Steve, 100%. That's literally exactly what I want to be doing anyways. I would probably be doing that anyways. That's kind of what I'm doing over here. So if I get paid for it, that'd be nice too, because that will help. Even though it's probably all just going back towards the garden and all the stuff we're building here. Still. So that worked out. So, and I didn't even have to leave here. He clearly came over and it all kind of worked itself out. Last month, I was trying to figure stuff out, and then luckily, buddy Scotty with Bird's Nest Builders hit me up about helping him build a yurt. So he did that last month, so that helped me out. You know, it's like these things just keep kind of falling into place. I'm just learning to trust. Okay, I'm getting way too woo-woo here. All right, it's probably just because it's warm outside, and I've got my shirt unbuttoned, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. All right, so what are we doing today? Today, we're going to turn a bowl before the crazy thunderstorm comes in. We're going to write. We already did that. We did that outside today. We were going to do the video outside, but I figured this would be quicker to just get this over with. Video. Okay. We got to do some meditation. I already did some Frisbee with Owsley, but we're going to do that again. That's his job. We've got some lion's mane that's hanging out down in the basement that we have to harvest. I've got to put more shiitakes in these bags to bring. I'm going to spend 1 hour on the Home Assistant. That's what I did. I set up one of the cameras outside. So got it set up, and now I got to reboot the whole Home Assistant, probably maybe set the whole thing up again. That's okay. If you haven't noticed, I tend to like to break things up and put them back together, kind of like an alchemical sort of process. So it'll probably come out better this time. Anyway, so we have one out back. We're going to put maybe one out front originally, or we'll see how those go. I would like to get one pointed right at the garden. I would like to get one, both the gardens. We have a kitchen garden and we have the front gardens that are being built. So I'd like to get them on both those. And then I'd like to kind of just like stream that stuff on Twitch, I guess, or something like that, or just get it up so that we have that sort of stuff, and then maybe we can do some time lapse and things like that, and we just kind of be able to kind of like make it so that like the people in the digital world can actually kind of see what's going on here and can drop in and kind of like see what's going on. Maybe I'll be doing some gardening stuff. If that's the case, maybe we get a different camera and then I can kind of like chat like in the moment. Ideally, what I'd like to be able to do is kind of just be able to like have all the stuff kind of set up like those cameras and things like that, kind of like set up that are just like in front of that stuff, and then like I can just be going about what I'm working on, and then I can bop in there, and then I can just be like, oh, okay, cool, and then fucking, excuse me, chat with you about what I'm doing, and then you can bop in and see that, and then we make that into like a little video that pulls off of that, but like this, it's all live and kind of in the moment and just coming out. It's not pre-set. It's not like I'm reading a script, because I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I don't work well doing that, and that seems like that's annoying and not fun. And I want to share a bunch of knowledge, and I want to help everybody out, and I want to make my environment more beautiful and more hospitable to more and more life and more life forms, and just kind of build and grow and make this the living workshop be alive and grow and all that sort of stuff. And part of that is doing it like this and not having me write it down and make a script and then speak it to you and sound like a robot, because everybody's going to start sounding like robots now. So start learning to be weird again and have improper speech or something, so that somebody can tell, okay, all right, cool, this person's probably a real fucking human. Oh, well, there you go. This person's probably a real human, not reading a script or reading some script that was written by some AI or something weird like that. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, so we got to harvest. We got to do the home assistant thing. So yeah, I got sidetracked there. I wrote down here zone plans. I completely forgot about that already, but I'm gonna try and see if I can get those. There's Trillium domes. They make like these zones. They're super duper cool. They're really, really cool. And I remember they have some little kind of thing that they were offering plans for super cheap, and I didn't jump on it at the time. And now it just pops into my head, and I'm like, I should just do that and just grab some stock and then just make that and then stick that outside, and it's going to be really, really cool. And then something probably comes off of that. So I wrote that down, so I'm going to try and get those plans, and then I need to ideate the labels for these shiitake bags that I'm going to bring with me when I go down to Brooklyn for the art exhibit gallery thing. This thing was probably ridiculously long, but I think it was interesting. So, all right, that's what I got. So, you know the deal. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to try and mess with this thing so you don't pay attention while I go. All right. So that's the deal. I got stuff I got to do. I'm sure you do too. Okay, so my name's T.O. It's the Living Workshop. That's what I'm grateful for, and that's what I'll be doing. Those are the tasks I'll be working on today. What are you grateful for today? And what tiny, if I heard something, super tiny little task can you commit to yourself to doing today that'll bring you just a little bit closer towards your vision of a better life, better tomorrow for yourself and for all of us. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Oh, I didn't turn it on. Oh, goodness. I was trying to do all this, seem all emotionally, and stick it in, and then blow it. Let me blow it. Whatever. Catch you tomorrow. You know, one of these times, one of these days, I'm gonna have all the cool gear. It's gonna be too easy. I'm gonna go, oh man, remember when I had to fiddle around with the clicker and all that sort of stuff? And 14 minutes, okay. But for now, we're doing this, so